Ooh, finally, the big book of madness. You know, I'm a wizard. Well, I'm studying to be a wizard anyway, but lately my grades aren't that great. But I know that in the basement of this school, there is this book, the big book of madness. And I know they're just hiding it from us by calling it madness. They have mad spells in here, I'm betting. And I want to learn it all by tomorrow because that's my finals. But, oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh, neat. Oh, no, 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 no!
Hello.
The damage is done. Now we need to fix our screw-up. So, luckily I wasn't alone. We were a group of teens going down in the basement and opening this book just to pass the exam tomorrow. But, of course, it went wrong. So, this book has opened a lot of monsters and they are just coming into our world. We need to stop them. But the important monster is to stop the last one in this book. We can let some of the monsters go. They're not that bad. And besides, the school teachers can take them afterwards. But if we let this last monster go, we lose the game. We have sent in destruction to the world. Hooray! But if we beat them, we win the game. Hooray! So, this game is very puzzly. We have a lot of cards on our hands, which are element cards. They look like this. Yeah, just zoom in. And we have spells. We all have some basic spells, which are able to upgrade later. But on your turn, you can use all of your elements cards, usually 6 cards, and you can activate your spells. You can destroy a curse, which is down here. You can cure a madness card, and you can upgrade your elements, or you can just discard madness cards. But everything here, there's a lot of choices, and especially with the spells. For instance, combustion. This allows me to destroy a card from my hand that is removing it from the game. Growth. I can use a green element to get new cards. So if I have the wrong colors, I can maybe get some new colors or stronger colors. Ice. I can play cards in front of me in support. Not the blue ones most likely, but red ones. And other players are able to use these elements on their turn, even if they are mine. So this is a very useful spell to have, and to play cards in support is top notch. Also top notch is telepathy. On my turn, I can give you an action, or him an action, or her an action. I can give other people actions depending on how strong the elements I play on it is. And everything is useful. And since there's a lot of back and forth and a lot of table talk, we have a marker here. It's the active player marker, and it's very handy because everyone is involved at the same time, and after a while, whose turn is it anyway? Because everyone is doing something. It's not like this, I'm bored, I forgot to pay attention. It's like, everybody's doing something, whose turn is it really? So, it's mine, okay. So this can be very useful, unless you actually have. I usually don't use it, but sometimes I will feel the necessary need to use it with 5 players at least. Especially, this one is very handy to have because you just lose track of who it is because everybody's doing something. And that is a great feature to have in a game, that everybody is active, usually all of the time. Okay, this is the board. It's not very big, but it has the most important things you need. Here is the Book of Madness. This consists of one front page. It's one of 5 monsters. It's random. You have 5 random monsters here, and the last page, which is always the same. But we don't know what's in here. So we flip the first page. I'm just going to move this book. Each player discards 1 card. This happens first, and this is random. This isn't the worst thing that can happen, but later in the game it might be worse and worse. And then we add curses here. You see a blue one. We add a blue, and a green one, and a white one. If we were playing on a harder difficulty now, we would also add a wild curse. And this curse requires 4 blue elements to be played at the same time to destroy this, the green and white ones. If we have this, you need 1 of each at the same time. To prepare for the next round, we can see here on the page The next monster will appear. We'll have one white, one red, and one green curse. But we don't know the effect that will happen, this effect, which could be anything. It could be very, very hard for us to beat. So what we want to do is to remove these curses. But every turn, this book will go, and it will activate the curse that is attached to it. So this curse, both these curses, this and this curse, and then we come here. If we are here and we have not removed all of the curses, we get the bad effect. If we have removed everything, we get the good effect, which will help us for the next page and future games, the future in this game. But some are bad, like this one. It says each player receives one madness in their discard pile, and these madness cards will be in the way. If this ever goes empty and we need one more card, we lose the game because madness has gone too far. We have spent too much magic in a short period of time and we just can't handle it. As I said, this is a deck builder game. We all have one hand of cards. Also, we have a deck of cards that is a private deck. As I use these cards and I will discard them, I will also buy new cards and put them in the same discard pile. As I draw from my own deck, if this deck goes empty, everything is discarded, and I need to draw new, I will shuffle this discard pile and make a new draw pile. The problem is, every time I need to shuffle my deck of cards, I add a madness card to my deck and then shuffle it. So you don't want to rush through your deck and just get all the good cards in your hand, because every time you shuffle, you get more madness. You're burning yourself too fast on the spells, and of course you're just a student, so this is kind of makes sense as well. So don't rush through your deck, because these madness cards, you can't just get rid of them easily. You have to cure them or use spells to get rid of them or something else. And that costs a lot of resources and time. And time is something you really don't have in this game. So this game requires you to focus a lot on maybe using spells, the more powerful spells. But you don't want to just buy spells for having them. You need to actually have a plan for them as well. These are the spells you can buy. We all start with the same basic spells, we can all upgrade spells. Each color has 3 levels of spells. When you buy level 1, you reveal level 2, and then you reveal level 3. Each level has 3 cards each in this game. So you shuffle them and you choose a random one from each level. So each game will be very different from the previous game, and you can't power optimize like that because you don't know what you're gonna get. But anyway, all these spells are basically very useful to have, and they allow you to avoid the normal rules of the game, and you can make other players draw cards, and you can use madness cards for something useful. And these spells are very handy to have, but they're also expensive to buy and to use usually, and you need the correct color as well of elements. So would you rather upgrade your element, or would you buy a spell? Or maybe you should focus on destroying a curse, because when you destroy a curse you also get a higher level element of your choice, if there are any available. So this game has a lot of choices to make, and one thing I like about this game is it makes it hard for an alpha player to actually take control, because yeah, you can talk about what you have in your hand, but you know what your deck consists of the most, and you don't show the hard cards at any time. You just talk about your hand. So there's no way for one player to totally optimize what to do, because there is no one solution in this game. There's many solutions to this game, so everybody can contribute and make their own mind. And since you know your deck the most, it's up to you to make the final choice on your turn, and I love that about this game. Welcome to the last page of the big Book of Madness. As you see, we have 5 curses in front of us, and now everything matters. If you can't remove all curses at the time this reaches there, game over. Everything has to be gone here, and you have 5 turns to do it. So this is the point where we realize, have we made the right decisions so far? Because when you come here to the last page, it's always the same. We always have 5 curses here, and you may get the feeling that you're resetting every time you flip the page, and yes, you are. But this is the point where you realize if everything in front here has actually mattered. Because if you do it badly here, you will do it horrible here. So every page is a test. how good have we done it so far? How is our strategy viable? And when you come to the last page, you really have to focus, because just one cursor remaining, you lose the game. So you really have to optimize everything to this point. And it's always exciting, because every time it's reset and you only have 5 turns to destroy 5 cursors. Do you have the correct cards on your hand? Do you have cards on your hand? Or is it just filled up with madness cards? There's a lot of questions, and anything can happen in this game. And I love this game. Truly, it's very, very puzzly. So if you don't like puzzle games where you have to discuss a solution with your friends and just figuring out the best way to do it, then you probably won't like this game, because you have to think a lot here. You have to communicate a lot. You have to do the right choice a lot. And there are many right choices, which is also a good thing in this game. There is no one way to do it. So everything just culminates to this point. Will we be able to make it? Especially when this is on the last step and we still have cursors left. So, okay, I'm going to give you 2 actions with my spells. But, oh no, wait, if I do that, I can't help you with that other thing. And oh, really? Okay, if you help her, and so forth, everyone has to contribute with their meanings and plans. And it just works very well. I love this game. It is truly a good game, and that is called The Big Book of Madness. And if you are thinking, am I recommending this game? Yeah, of course I am. It is a good game, very puzzly a game, but a very good one as well. It does not work that well with 5 players. Well, the game works, but the thing is, with 2 players, this game is fairly manageable. You have all the upgrades you get on your or your partner's hand, and you kind of have a good control or feeling of what you're going to get and which spells to use and so forth. So the game is easier. With 5 players, these upgrades are spread out upon the players, and you don't have that control of what they have in the deck, and it's harder for one player to have 4 of one kind in that way. So you need to focus more on supports and other spell types. So 5 players is very much more difficult than 2 players. So the game works, yes, but I don't think it's optimized the optimal way to play the game with 5 players. And 2 is very fun. I like it too as well. But for me, 3 and 4 is the sweet spot, because you have a lot of the spells don't work very well with 2 players, but they work with more players. And yeah, 3 and 4 is sweet spots, but 2 is also good. 5 I will kind of back away from, because the game also kind of drags out more than it should have with 5, and you lose control. And I don't like to lose control in a game where control is kind of what you want, or at least you have some feeling of doing the right thing in the puzzle. But okay, this Big Book of Madness is one big recommendation from me. So, okay, thanks for watching. If you want to contribute to this project of mine, or even want to influence the next game I'm going to review, please check out my Patreon account and see how you can contribute. Okay, thanks for now.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.